Today's perfume is a little taste of Thailand. It's based on the Thai dish Tom Kha Gai, which is Galangal chicken. And I've just gotten some Galangal in from Liberty Naturals. And the first thing I thought of was the dish Tom Kha Gai, kind of crossed with the dish. I don't actually have the ability to replicate the smell of chicken. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make a dilution of guaiacol and use the guaiacol to substitute for barbecue pork. So it'll really be more of a Galangal pork than a Galangal chicken. So you can't be Tom Kha Gai without the Kha, and you can't be Tom Kha Gai without the Gai. So I'm calling it Tom Cat for guys, because Thailand is famous for its Siamese cats, and particularly for all of the cats that live around the Buddhist temple. So I'm calling this Tom Cat for guys, and I hope you enjoy watching me blend it. So we begin by putting our vessel down and pressing tear, like always. Now, there's not a conventional base note to this. Galangal itself supposedly lasts 400 hours, but I am not at all certain of that, as I have never worked with it before. So what I'm going to do is go back to my old school fixative of choice, benzoin, because benzoin comes from Thailand, and it makes a nice, good fixative at the bottom of the base so that the other things can shine. I'm going to put 2 grams of my diluted benzoin, and I really should be using benzoin Siam in this, but what I happen to have is benzoin India. But like, it won't actually change anything about the composition of the formula because they have more or less the same chemicals in them. They smell a little bit different. You can smell the terroir, but it doesn't really matter. If you've got some sort of benzoin, it'll work as benzoin in your mix. So like building from the bottom up, the next longest lasting thing would be we need 1/4 gram of coumarin. Two point 2.14, 2.21, close enough. So in this base of coumarin mixed with perfumer's alcohol and benzoin, we're going to start by building up the base of our sauce. So the very bottom of our sauce is coconut, and we're going to start with 1 gram of aldehyde C10 here. .25, 0.5, 0.85, 1. So 1 gram of 10% aldehyde C18, and then we're going to find our actual coconut. And this is my first time ever using coconut CO2 from Eden Botanicals. And CO2 extracts are miraculous. They are so much cheaper than the kind of extraction you get with hexane, and it's a much cleaner extraction with a broader variety of things. So we're going to put 1 gram of this coconut CO2 in. That's 1/2 gram, 0.8, 1.0. And this won't last as long as the aldehyde that pretends to be coconut, but the coconut CO2 will make the coconut smell much more realistic. Then on top of that, we're going to add our Galangal. Now, according to the Good Sense Company, Galangal lasts 400 hours on a scent strip, and it's a relative of ginger, but it doesn't actually smell very much like ginger. And so This Thai dish is about the only thing I know it from culinarily is Thai food. And it grows all over Thailand, so it's not that uncommon in Thai food. But I have never used it in perfumery before, and I've got kind of a lot in this perfume. So we're going to tear and use 5 grams of Galangal. Really? 1.6. 3.2, 3.5. Maybe you should have bought more Galangal. 4, 4.25. 4.6. 4.75. 5.0. We'll see if I didn't ruin my perfume there, because if this is anywhere near as strong as ginger is, this may not be wearable. But like the coconut may temper the Galangal quite a lot in this, so we will see. I see that it is kind of too dense for the coumarin to successfully melt. Then I guess we'll have to wait. Okay, so now that we've built on top of that, we're building our mid note. So the next biggest note would be 0.8 of a gram of coriander. Coriander is a miracle natural. It will give lift to just about any perfume. Well, that's 0.9 of a gram of coriander. That's what I get for talking to you guys while I'm measuring. It will give lift to almost any perfume, and it also accords beautifully with its leaf version, which is cilantro, which 1/4 of a gram of cilantro. And cilantro is actually in Tom Kha Gai, so okay. There we go. Wait, that was 8.3. Cilantro is actually in Tom Kha Gai, so it will not seem at all out of place. And I dripped that. One thing about perfumery, you've got to be careful about the drips, or they will ruin your equipment, because tear that. So we've got coriander, cilantro, lime leaf. Petitgrain, like lime leaf here, acts as a bridge between the citrus at the top and the mid-note stuff, like say cilantro and cilantro and like that sort of thing, coriander. Okay, this will be how much? 1/3 of a gram. Okay, it's a little more than I intended, but I'm distractible today. That's fine, it's close enough. Lemongrass. 10% lemongrass, 2 grams of the stuff. Okay. Always freshen up your dilutions if you start being unable to smell them at their normal speed, because diluted, this stuff goes bad pretty fast, especially the top note stuff. And I had to make replacements for several of my dilutions because they'd gone stale in the time I wasn't making stuff with them. Lemongrass, by the way, is a very common ingredient in Thai cuisine and is a large part of what's going to give Tomcat its Thailand impression. Is not the benzoin, which does grow in Thailand and is very commonly used in ritual there, but the lemongrass, which is all over Thai cuisine of all sorts. Let's see here. Now we can move up the chain. to our last base note element. I want to have a little bit of ritual scent backdrop. So I'm going to add like 1/10 of a gram Palo Santo to this, even though it's kind of culturally wrong. To back up the fact that I will be using Galangal. And Galangal, this stuff has a woody side, but it really, really strongly has a bacony side too. And so a little will go a long, long way on this stuff. Just a couple of drops of it, because this is the smokiness of the barbecue pork. And so you put in too much Galangal, you get the burning rubber note from Age of Innocence. If you've ever smelled Toscovad's Age of Innocence, that is made with Galangal, and that's what you're trying to avoid with your Galangal by not using so much. Most people would take their Galangal down to like a 1% dilution, but this actually needs to have a fair amount of Galangal in it because it's emulating the effect of pork in Galangal pork. Because this is kind of a mix between the basic ingredients list of Galangal chicken, but with a kind of more pork style of meat note, because that's what I have the chemicals on hand to do. Okay, so now we are down to the top note. On top of that wood and petitgrain, you've got lime. We're going to put 1/2 gram of lime in here. Well, that's 0.6 of a gram of lime. Close enough. And then, because Galangal is heavy on the pinene, I'm going to put 1/2 gram of 10% Scotch pine in this to bring in the difference between Galangal and ginger, to make it a little more obviously not ginger. And then, should there need to be ginger, I do have some, but okay, what's left? We've got our lime, our pine, and it wouldn't be Thai food without capsicum. Okay, capsicum, this is red chili. It is fairly strictly regulated by the IFRA. They literally asked me questions when I tried to buy capsicum to let me know that I kind of had to know that you have to really, really dilute this stuff for perfumery. But that's okay, I am only using a teeny bit for the very top of the top note. .007, 0.011. Close enough. Capsicum is very strong, and you're going to need to use it in very small, very sparing amounts. And that, folks, is so we will tear this with the new bottle, put our thing in it, tear, and let's see how much we have made. grams. 14 grams. So we have 14 grams of material here that we're going to need to turn into a 20% perfume. So I failed at the math, and so I am just going to YOLO some perfumer's alcohol into this and let the concentration be whatever it is. So this is mysterious and cloudy. I'm going to leave this to settle overnight and we will see what it smells like tomorrow. Okay, so it's a full 24 hours after I mixed this stuff, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually see-through clear again. I'm going to dip the strip one more time. And one of the problems with this particular blend is that it occurs to me I don't actually know what Galangal smells like. I don't smell any zingiberinic brightness. I don't smell any gingerol. I can smell coconut. I can smell peppers. I can smell some coriander. Rather a lot of lime, but I'm not smelling the bacon note that I intended to have in this. And I'm not sure if that's because I didn't use enough or use too much of the Galangal. But most of all, like, my brain does not know how to interpret the Galangal in this. Because, like, I can tell you abstractly there's 5 grams of the stuff in here. I should almost certainly be smelling it very strongly. But I think I'm over my body's threshold of perception because I just don't smell anything ginger-like at all in this. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm going to let it macerate and see how it works out. But thus far, this is probably the most failed mix I've tried so far. And I may have to get some actual Galangal to train my brain on what the stuff smells like. Because my brain just shuts down and gets overwhelmed and won't even smell the Galangal in this. Anyway, stay tuned to Perfumery Log. I'm going to be having another shampoo episode next, and then I will be doing the new perfume I invented when I visited the Grand Canyon, Juniperus. Stay tuned.